What's good, y'all? It's your boy KCB. We got another one here today. We're gonna be making a dark beat for Denzel Curry. So the way I like to do that, dark beats are one of my favorite type of beats to make. It's gonna be about sound selection. That's a really big part about making a dark beat like this. If you don't have the right sound right away, it's gonna throw the vibe off. So you want to go ahead and start with something that kind of gives you a certain vibe that you're looking for already. So let's start out, and so I just really started with pretty much root notes, except I just kind of cut them a little bit so they'd have more bounce to it. And so in this, I'm doing a C minor in Phrygian scale. So first I wanted to find just a good solid sound to start with, and so in Citrus, which is a free plugin on FL Studios, I went and picked the Celestial 3. There's quite a few sounds on there that are great for a beat like this, but this first one here, this is what this sounds like, and you already kind of get the vibe for a dark melody for this beat. So I started with that there, and so that's just kind of a good, background noise like for this melody here. It's going to be the bass for it. And so what I did was I just went, EQ'd it right where it's being used. You usually want to leave a little bit of the higher, like the high mid and the treble up here for something like usually like a bell. Bell's one of my favorites in terms of adding to melody to make it dark. Usually want a bell and add some reverb and some effects to it. So I went ahead and used one of the lab bells, and this is actually, I believe, the music box, or resonator music box. That's one of my favorites. It gives a bell sound. There's other bells on there too, but this is one of my favorites. So we have that kind of almost like root notes, but it has some chops in it, and so I wanted to go ahead and make kind of like a higher melody, something that's going to be a little bit faster, that's going to go well with that other sound here. So like for this one here, I just went ahead and followed a little bit of the pattern of the root note, except I added some other notes as well. I duplicated it, and then I just added some kind of transition notes into it. So when you make melodies, you don't have to get super complex with it, but typically I'll start out, make part of a melody I like, duplicate it, and then make some notes that kind of connect it. So this is what we get here. So here is both of those melodies. So there's that. I also did leave certain parts of this song here. I added a bass to it as well. Bass is good for certain sections where maybe you don't have a big 808 or something in the kind of the low range, just so that way it doesn't clash. But a bass is nice to just to add some more emotion to it. So I just pretty much did just root notes with the bass, because this is something where I'm only going to use this in part of the beat. And so this is what I have just for my bass pattern. So for example, so here's all three of those together. So you can see here, everything goes together well. If you have things that are clashing, you can EQ them separately so that way they don't clash as much, but also make sure that your sound selection, you kind of have multiple sounds that are kind of in different like frequencies, because if you have, all basses or all real high, high mid treble sounds, that's gonna kind of clash a bit. So the idea is just have all those blend together. And we're going to use those in the beat and kind of chop up certain sections. And so as far as drums go, drums are always important in beats like this because, it's going to add more bounce to it, and it's just going to give the beat, that just hard feel that we want. So for this one, I want to do something a little bit different in the sense that a lot of times I use like a pretty similar clap, and I use a lot of drums that kind of sound the same. But on this one here, I wanted to go ahead and use like a different clap, some different effects to it. And then I went ahead and kind of took our melody and put it up an octave and part of this beat too. That just makes the beat just real hype, and that's great thing you could do in your beat. And so for the drums, I always go with big 808s, nice hat of course. In this clap I added, it's kind of like a clap with some nice reverb to it actually. So this is what we got here for my drum pattern. So yeah, that's the pattern I laid down for that. So I mean, it's banging, sounds great already. One thing I want to do with this beat though, and that I do with a few of my beats is, so I'll actually take like all our melodies that we made and I'll actually duplicate them and then put them up one more octave. And then I'll kind of use that as like a transition in the beat. So it'll start out kind of low and then go high and then come back to low, or depending on your hook or verse, you can arrange it how you want. But that's one way you can take one melody and it'll be the same melody, but it will give the song like a different feel or transition. So that's something that's important to do. So like I pretty much just went here, took my melody here, put it up an octave, same with my bell melody here. And then I actually did the same with my 808. My 808 pattern, I went ahead and put it up one octave too, so they all hit one octave higher, and it's just gonna lead to more motion in the beat, and it's just hard when you do that. So so like those sections. So here I'll just play just those ones for you guys, so you can kind of hear what I'm talking about. Alright, so this is the section where I have both melodies an octave higher and the 808, so it will sound like this. So yeah, that's hard right there, and so we're going to go ahead and arrange this track to where it will kind of lead up into that, so you can just feel it kind of grow gradually, and then it's going to go straight into that, and the artist can just, Denzel in this case, can just take off from there. So let's go ahead and I'll piece this up here, show you guys how I did that. Alright, so when I piece this together here, so a lot of times on beats like this I like to use risers to go into the main part of the beat. So I kind of have just like the bass and the one part of the melody going, it'll go into a riser up into the main part of the beat. And then this one I have playing almost like a bridge here. Sometimes I'll take this section out and go straight into like where the verse would be. In this section I did kind of like a hook into like a bridge, and then it's going to go into the verses. And I like to add some different effects when the verse will kick in as well, just to give, transition. And that way, really just adding little effects here and there, reverse hats, ambient noise, stuff like that's going to give your beat, more sauce, and it's going to really just kind of up your game. So I did that. So let's see here. So play this here so you guys can hear what we got.
Kyle, cook this beat.
Ooh, damn, yeah, that beat's hard right there. I've been getting some good response. I actually put this beat out a little bit ago, even on my channel. It's called Spectre. I've been getting, great responses on it, so I want to kind of go through and do like a breakdown of how I made this. And yeah, Denzel Curry vibes all day on this. I also put, Tech Nine or Comethazine could also be, something like this. But Denzel, I think he's, really underrated in the game. And a lot of the beats he uses are just hard, dark beats, stuff that I like to make. So I want to go through and show you guys how I make this. So I hope you guys like the video. Go ahead, hit that sub, like, comment, all that. There's going to be a lot more videos on the way. We're going to have them keep coming here. So until next time, y'all.